Welcome everyone to the 5th episode of Warcry Battle Reports in the channel. Let's continue learning and having fun. In the episode today, we are going to play Seraphon vs Soublight Gravelords. Let's examine the warbands in more detail. The Seraphon warband has been built with two heroes, the Aggradon Lancer and the Saurus Warrior Alpha. These fighters are well-rounded and both have the Warrior rune mark. This rune mark gives them access to the Tearing Bite, an ability that allows you to increase damage significantly. The warband also has a Kroxigor Warspawned, terrifying fighter. And the warband is complete with 4 Saurus warriors and a Skink. Except for the Skink, all fighters have access to Tearing Bite. We will definitely see this ability in action during this game. The Soulblight Gravelords warband also has two heroes, the Vampire Lord and Deintalos the Exile. The Vampire Lord is more tanky and has abilities to increase the attack of friendly fighters. Deintalos, on the other hand, is an upgraded Necromancer and has great missile attack and the capacity to support some specific units from the same Underworld's warband. The warband also has Vellas Von Faine and 4 Barrow guards. Vellas is a fighter with decent mobility and fairly high critical damage. The Barrow guards with White Blade offers great attack on fighters that can be brought back through the hero abilities. The warband is completed with 3 fighters from Deintalos' Underworld band with the ability to electrocute enemies. You will see throughout the game that we refer to them as zombies. Typically, the Seraphon warband is going to go for an even stronger bite using the battle trait you see on the screen. For this game, we completely forgot. The Gravelords, on the other hand, choose the generic death battle trait for maximum survivability. Although in this game, with minimal missile attacks, it's not so useful. For this game, we are using the Tidal Pack from the Salty Sea. The mission, Extraction, chosen at random, is about objective control and treasures. The objectives disappear once they have been controlled once. The total potential score is 3 points on the objective control and 6 points on the treasure control. This is 9 points in total, so the game cannot finalize in a draw. And we follow the mission's deployment map. For this mission, one of the groups starts in the second battle round, and we distribute the warbands in the corresponding groups. As pointed in the previous episode, the groups should be distributed as evenly as possible. Once the fighters are placed in the battlefield, we are ready for the game. Let's start with Battle Round 1. The initiative roll gives a double to the Seraphon and a double and a triple to the Soublight Gravelords. As they discard more dice, the initiative is for the Seraphon player. Both players are going to keep the wild die for later. The challenge in this battle round will be to balance the forces to maximize the number of objectives captured, as this provides the initial victory points. Capturing an objective is achieved by having more fighters within 3 inches of it, so the Soulblight Gravelords warband is naturally favored. As the Seraphon player has the initiative, the first activation is for the Skink, that is going to move and shoot against the closest Barrow guard, dealing 1 point of damage. The Skink overextended as the Barrow guard is activated next and is able to get close enough for an attack with 1 single move. The Barrow guard attacks and deals 6 points of damage to the Skink. As a response, the Seraphon player brings the big guns with the Aggradon Lancer hero, taking the Barrow guard down with a 13 damage point attack. The action continues with the Vampire Lord activation, that moves and uses Summon Undead Minion ability. This ability brings the Barrow guard that has been taken down with 5 wounds remaining. Remember that the Barrow guard cannot activate or activate again in this battle round. With the second action, the Vampire Lord attacks the Skink, dealing 6 points of damage and taking the fighter down. The Seraphon player decides to move the Saurus warrior that was deployed with the Aggradon Lancer to the objective in the middle of the battlefield, but is followed by a Barrow guard that is able to move 3 times thanks to the Shambling Horde ability. On the other side of the battlefield, and close to the objective number 2, the Kroxigor moves to block Deintalos' group. Despite this, one of the zombies is going to get past the Kroxigor with a move and a disengage action to get to the objective uncontested. Objective 1 in the center of the board is the busiest. Many fighters have moved in to contest it. When it's the turn for Deintalos to activate, Deintalos is going to shoot at the Saurus warrior contesting the objective 1, dealing 3 points of damage. Let's talk about the development of Battle Round 1. The Soulblight Gravelords have surprised everyone by capturing all the objectives. Objective 3 has been captured because the Skink was taken down and the Barrow guard has been brought back. This created an imbalance of fighters that allowed the remaining Barrow guard in the same area to move to Objective 1 to contest it, also giving this objective at the end of the turn to the Soulblight Gravelords. Objective 2 is captured by the Soulblight due to the sneaky move and disengage action. The zombie does not expect to live very long, but at this point it scored a victory point for the team. At the end of the battle round, all objectives disappear and 3 victory points go to the Soulblight Gravelords player. Now it's time to choose which fighters will take the treasure. In the bottom right, only the zombie can take it. For the treasure in the center, the decision is for the zombie furthest from the action to take the treasure, so in this case it will be the zombie called Ion. At the top left, the Vampire Lord will take the treasure as well and finalize the round. A fighter carrying a treasure has some penalties, so let's see how this goes. Let's go to Battle Round 2. Battle Round 2 initiative roll gives 2 doubles to each player. To break the tie, players roll off and the Seraphon player takes the initiative. They create a triple with a wild dice, and the Soulblight player uses 2 wild dice this time to create a triple and another double. In this battle round, the third group of fighters for each player will join the fight. The first activation is for the Kroxigor that attacks the zombie carrying the treasure next to it. The attack, dealing 12 points of damage, is enough to take the zombie down. Unfortunately, the Soulblight player forgot about the unfeeling flesh reaction. This could have left the zombie alive with 1 single wound and wasted another action from the Kroxigor. After this, the Kroxigor moves towards the center without picking up the treasure. Next up is Deintalos, that attacks the wounded Saurus warrior. 2 critical hits from different attacks take down the warrior. The center of the map is now more accessible, and the Seraphon player moves the Aggradon Lancer to this position. The second action is used to attack Ion, the zombie with the treasure. Ion reacts with the unfeeling flesh reaction, and the 13 damage are reduced to 9, allowing Ion to survive with 1 wound left. The Vampire Lord carries the treasure and has less movement for it, but is able to move towards the center and bring the zombie back at full health using the Summon Undead Minions ability. At the other side of the battlefield, a Saurus warrior uses the ability Rush to increase its movement and get to attacking distance from Deintalos in 1 single movement. With the next action, the Saurus warrior attacks Deintalos, but fails to deal any damage. The Soulblight player has surrounded the Aggradon Lancer hero with electric zombies and is eager to use the Crackling Arc's ability, so they activate Blush and use the ability right away. With 6 dice, they are only able to deal 3 points of damage. After this, Blush is going to attack twice to the Aggradon Lancer, dealing a total of 4 damage points in 2 attacks. Now it's time for the Saurus Warrior Alpha to activate, moving towards the recently resurrected zombie. They use the Tearing Bite ability, adding 6 points of damage to each successful hit from the next melee attack. The attack does a whopping 32 damage to the zombie, taking it down. Talk about overkill. This zombie was taken down in one side of the battlefield to then return and be taken down a second time. A couple of double moves follow for both players, but the next attack is going to be for the Barrow guard close to the center. This fighter attacks the Aggradon Lancer, dealing 12 points of damage total. Next up, the Seraphon player picks up the treasure left by the zombie by moving within 1 inch of it with the Saurus warrior. The last action on this battle round is for Ion, the zombie with one single wound left and carrying the treasure. Ion uses a much less effective Crackling Arcs ability, dealing 2 points of damage to the Aggradon Lancer hero. With her last action, Ion attacks the Aggradon Lancer and scores 2 critical hits, dealing 8 points of damage and taking the Aggradon Lancer down. Luck was definitely on her side today. In this battle round, the action gets closer to the center, and Ion, the zombie with the treasure, still stands proud. The Seraphon player has lost 2 fighters, and the Soulblight player has lost 1. In fact, they lost 1 but twice in this case. One of the treasure has exchanged hands and it's now in the Seraphon player's control. Will they be able to capture more next battle round? The score does not change this round, as the next victory points are only provided at the end of battle round 4. For now, let's move to battle round 3. Battle round 3 initiative roll gives a double to each player. To break the tie, players roll off and the Seraphon player takes the initiative again. Both players use the remaining wild dice, with the Seraphon player forming a double and a triple, and the Soulblight player forming 2 doubles. With 1 wound left, Ion is easy prey. The closest Saurus warrior moves and attacks, dealing 8 points of damage. Unfeeling Flesh was used by Ion, but it cannot lower attacks to 0. Counter would have been potentially more useful in this scenario. As Ion is taken down, the treasure is left close to the Barrow guard on her back. The Barrow guard will activate next, picking Ion's treasure and moving closer to its allies. With the second action, the Barrow guard will attack the Saurus warrior alpha, dealing 6 points of damage. The Kroxigor will move and attack Vellas, the vampire fighter in the center of the battlefield, dealing 3 points of damage. The next activation is for Vellas, who is going to attack the Saurus warrior alpha, dealing a total of 6 damage points. The Seraphon hero has 4 wounds left. The Saurus warrior alpha will activate and use the Tearing Bite ability, adding 3 points of damage to each successful hit and critical hit. Then attacks Vellas, dealing 10 damage points in the first attack and 2 in the second. Vellas survives with 1 single wound. The Saurus warrior alpha is taken down in the next activation by another Barrow guard. Almost at the end of the battle round, the Saurus warrior attacks Deintalos twice, dealing 11 points of damage. In response, Deintalos retaliates with 2 melee attacks, dealing 10 points of damage to the Saurus warrior. In this battle round, the Seraphon player was not able to retrieve any additional treasures, and the Vampire Lord has moved away from the action, destroying any hopes of the Seraphon player to capture all treasures. With a little bit of math, we see that even if the Seraphon player captures 2 treasures, they will not be able to win today. The Vampire Lord is too far and at full health, securing the game for the Soulblight Gravelords warband. Before battle round 4, the Seraphon player decides to surrender. And with that, the Soulblight Gravelords take the win today. In this game, we did some critical mistakes, especially in the use of the reactions. The Seraphon player did not use the battle trait that could have taken down Vellas. The Soulblight player, while using the Unfeeling Flesh reaction, subtracted points from critical hits, while it only said hits. This resulted in Ion remaining in the battlefield and the Aggradon Lancer being taken down. What did you think about the mission? Was it too harsh or just right? Did the Seraphon player had any chance after Battle Round 1? Let us know in the comments below. We think this game was a good example on how the Summon Undead Minion ability is capable of grinding down opponents. Also, many lessons were learned on spacing and the use of reactions. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much for watching and joining us. We want to hear from you, so please comment, like and subscribe. We hope you like the evolution of the videos. We read your comments and try to implement changes for the next videos. Could we have done something different, aside of all the errors? What tactics would you have employed? Until next time!